lodges, what happens to the pressure back here? It goes way up, right? All of that blood is still flowing in this direction. The pressure builds up at this point, and this will bulge outward. Literally, the wall of the artery will bulge outward, and it thins out so much, and I've got so much blood built up behind it that I have an aneurysm. An aneurysm is the bulging, which typically leads to a hemorrhage. So these are the terms we usually see in relation to a cerebrovascular accident. If we have an embolus, a moving clot that lodges in a blood vessel, we call it a thrombus. It's typically caused by plaque buildup. It will create an aneurysm. And even if it doesn't burst, we've deprived this side of the artery of blood. So anything past that clot is going to die. So how severe are cerebrovascular accidents? Depends. Depends on the size of the vessel and what it feeds. If it's a major artery feeding the brain, yeah, it's very severe and can lead to death, especially if it's one that feeds the brainstem. If it's a minor artery or an arteriole, you may not even know it. People have mini strokes all the time and never ever realize it. How do we usually check for cerebrovascular accident? We'll do things like shine lights in eyes to see if pupils constrict. We have little pinprick tests. Here's the deal. With a cerebrovascular accident, the brain is contralateral. What's that mean? We used that term the other day.
The other side of the head.
You're right. The left side of the body is controlled by the right brain. The right side of the body is controlled by the left brain. So if I have a cerebrovascular accident on my left cerebral hemisphere, where would I expect to see damage? Right side. Right side. It could affect facial muscles. We could see, a drooping of our mouth. We could see if we shine a little flashlight in your eyes and your right eye failed to constrict like it should, could indicate a cerebrovascular accident. So this is some of the more common ways to check for stroke. They'll use little pinprick tests. They'll shine a light in your eye, so they can check for minor strokes that way. Obviously, a major stroke might affect your speech or might have complete paralysis on that side. Alzheimer's disease is another common type of nervous system disorder. This also leads to dementia. We're going to talk about two major diseases, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Alzheimer's, as I'm sure you all know, occurs in aging individuals most commonly. And you literally start to get gaps in neural tissue, almost like Swiss cheese. So they have a very hard time. It is progressive. In other words, it gets worse and worse over time. It isn't. You lose your memory most commonly. Pardon? You don't die from Alzheimer's, but you lose your memory.
You said the brain is Swiss cheese, the brain controls everything.
Well, I'm talking about the cerebrum.
Oh.
The cerebrum, especially in the area where memory is processed.
So you need that function.
Apparently you don't. We talked the other day about the cerebrum, didn't we? Mm-hmm. About the different areas and how you could have. Pardon? You weren't here.
I read it.
Okay. What it amounts to is we can lose parts of the cerebrum and it won't affect our life functions. In other words, it doesn't affect our ability to breathe or our ability for our heart to pump. Where are those centers?
In the
brain stem. If we have a blockage that feeds the brain stem, we're dead. If we have a blockage that feeds the cerebrum, we may lose parts. Same way with Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's affects the cerebrum, and we're looking at really how the brain communicates with itself, especially in the areas of memory.